Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do a little posture reboot. We're going to work on our posture. If you're like me lately, I've been either on my phone, typing a lot, I'm just kind of slouching forward. Even when I go for walks, I feel like I'm trudging, trying to get through the day, maybe even standing a lot. And when you stand, you tend to put a lot of pressure on the spine and on the legs. You just kind of tend to slouch. So we're going to work on that and opening up the chest and lengthening the side waist. Be able to feel a little bit better, a little bit taller maybe, to move on with our day. So it's very short and quick. You might need a few things around your house. So you have the option if you want to use blocks, if you're lucky enough and you have those blocks at your house. I'm going to use something a little bit nicer on my back. I have a blanket. It could be any blanket. If you don't have a blanket, 2 towels, large bath towels rolled up or beach towels rolled up are going to work great. And then I have my couch cushion. So I took my couch cushion off my couch. It works perfect. It's the good height for me. So I'm going to have those things available. The first pose though, you don't need anything. So if you need to, press pause, go collect your items, and come on back, and we'll start on our backs. Once you found yourself on your back, bend your knees for a moment, just arrive in the space. Put your hands on your belly, close your eyes, allow yourself to be in the room, on your mat, and in your body. And just notice what it feels like to lay down on the floor, feeling that support of the floor beneath you. Maybe even have a little prop underneath you. Maybe you have a blanket or a cushion underneath you. Just notice how that feels. Notice how that feels in the upper back, in the low back, in the hips. Just to lay here. And take a nice deep inhale. Side out the mouth. And then next you're going to lengthen those legs out. Our first posture is called Banana Asana. It's a little yin pose. We're not going to hold it for a long time like we would in yin, but we're going to get a nice little stretch on our side waist all the way up into our shoulders. So from here you're going to take your arms, reach them up overhead. Bend your elbows, and I like to grab my forearms instead of grabbing my elbows because I find whatever hand's on bottom, the veins in my hand get pressed into the floor, and that causes a little tingling for me. So I like to grab my forearms so neither hand is really on the floor. And then from here I'm going to lean to the left with my upper body. So I like to even kind of lift my shoulders and rotate them over a little bit more. So I find this stretch from my shoulder up to my elbow and from my shoulder down to my hip. So I'm feeling all along this side waist here. All right, so I'm feeling that. I'm just going to pause for a moment. And then to add on, I'm going to take my left foot and draw it over to the left. And then see if I can draw my right foot to the left to meet my left foot. And then just pause there. That right hip might want to curl up. See if you can roll it down. So pull your left hip forward slightly. And then you might feel that great sensation right there from your hip down to maybe mid-thigh, maybe down to your knee. And pause here. We're going to take 10 deep breaths. Take a full inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, maybe you want to take your right ankle, cross it over your left. Exhale. Maybe that's too deep. Inhale, let go. Exhale, maybe cross your left ankle over your right ankle. So a little less, whatever's going to work best for you, feeling that stretch. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 last breath. Inhale. Exhale. If your ankles are crossed, uncross them, bring your feet back to neutral, and then bring your upper body back to neutral. Let your arms come by your side. Just pause there. Just notice how that right side feels compared to the left side. And your eyes can be open or closed, whatever you need right now, just taking this little reboot for yourself. And we'll go to the other side. Take those arms, reach them back overhead. See if you can grip the opposite way with your forearms or your elbows. And then take your upper body and lean it toward the right. So draw the your upper body to the right, keeping your torso lengthened on that right side. Pause there for a moment, check in. And then take your right leg, draw it a little bit to the right, and then have your left leg match it to the right. So you're finding that little banana shape in your body. Good, let your right hip drop down, let your left hip drop down, and start to breathe deeper. Full breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. See if you can breathe all the way from the belly all the way up to the chest, and then exhale from chest all the way down to the belly. If you did on the other side, maybe your left leg crosses over your right, or maybe right leg crosses over left, whichever one's going to give you the best sensation in your body. Be mindful it's a good sensation, no stabbing pain, no sharp tingling sensations. 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, uncrosses those ankles. Exhale, brings those legs back to center. As you bring the upper body back to center, lengthen out, pause here. And just acknowledge how it feels. Maybe bend the knees. Maybe rock those knees from side to side, wiggling into the hips. And then mindfully roll to one side, and then press yourself up. Our next pose, we are going to support our upper back, so we're going to be a little bit more open this way. If you want to do it more traditionally with the blocks, you have blocks that are going to come below the shoulder blades, and then your other block's going to come back behind you, so you have this traditional little more openness. Your block can go as high or as low as you'd like here. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually take my blanket and I'm going to roll it in a big, thick roll. So I've folded it. It's kind of in this smaller triangle. And I'm going to roll it nice and tight. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to lay down onto it. So my spine's going to lay down onto it. The seam side's going to be down. I'm going to lay back onto it, having the roll come right about just below my shoulder blades, kind of like in my mid-back, so that my head's going to be supported by the bolster as well. And I'm not going to have that extra pinching in the low back. If you feel like you do, you can always put another pillow underneath there. And then take your hands out like cactus, and then let those arms drop out. And then you kind of play with where your arms go. You can reach them up higher for a little more sensation on the side waist into the back of the shoulders. Or you can draw them down lower, and that's going to get a little bit higher up in the chest and shoulders to release. So just kind of play with the spot and find your breath again. So you're going to have this opening through the chest. Those shoulder blades are drawing down either side of that bolster or the block. And just deepen your breaths here. We probably have about 6 more breaths. Full inhales into the belly, up to the chest. And exhale, chest to belly, just as we did before. Couple rounds together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If it feels okay, maybe the legs start to lengthen, find a deeper opening in the chest. Be mindful of the low back here. Maybe soles of the feet together, getting into those inner groins, opening externally, rotating the hips. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Feel free to linger here. Press pause before you go to the next one if this is feeling good. If you're staying along with the video, pull the knees back up towards center. Bring your hands by your side. Grab onto your hips or your back of your thighs and press into those elbows, draw your chin to your chest and roll yourself up. And just come up to seated and pause there. See if you notice maybe a little more openness in the chest, a little bit more length in the spine. And then the next one, I'm going to use my bolster here on my couch. So I'm going to place it, it's the good height for me, that height right there is a good height for me to be able to lift my hips. So I'm going to put my hips on the cushion and then I'm going to roll off of it. So I'm going to sit literally right in the middle of my cushion. So I want from my mid-back down to my sacrum on the cushion. So I'm going to have that opening come and the roundness come from my mid-back. My knees are going to stay bent to begin. You can also prop yourself up on cushions. If you're using your blocks, you can put them underneath like you would normally do, slide it underneath the mid-level, maybe even the lowest level. And then from here, you're going to draw those shoulder blades underneath you and then draw them toward the cushion. And those arms are going to come out by your side. Lift the chin slightly. Find a little length from the base of your neck up to your ear. And then just pause here. Just notice how this feels. Having this little opening in the upper back. And you can always adjust. You can come forward more off the cushion, or you can even come more onto the cushion so that just your shoulders are off the cushion. Sometimes I really like that. And again, find your breath. Keeping the knees bent. And you also have the option here, if you'd like, you can take those legs up toward the ceiling. Giving those legs a little break, especially if you've been standing a lot today and you're doing this little posture reboot. Being able to get those legs up, those feet up, maybe even doing ankle circles. Ankle circles are really good for the circulatory system. Breathing, can you breathe your circles with your breath? So inhaling one direction, exhaling the other direction. Nice full breaths. Just noticing the sensations in the body. Maybe even point and flex through the feet again with your breath. Inhaling, pointing. Exhaling, flexing. Maybe even bend into the knees. Let those hips grow heavy. Three more breaths here. Going to come to neutral. If your legs are raised, go ahead and place them on the floor. Pause there for a moment. Take a big inhale. And exhale. To come up, you have a couple options. You can just roll to the side to roll off. Or again, you can prop yourself up on your elbows. Walk those hands back. Maybe even roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Find another little chest opener there all the way up. And then come all the way up. I like, because I have my little cushion now. And then you're just going to sit for a couple moments, right? Your feet can be off the cushion or on the cushion. And just pause, right? Notice how that feels. Let the hands rest on the thigh or in your lap. And just notice the difference between before you started this little reboot and how you feel now. Not only physically, but maybe also a little mentally alert, maybe a little bit more emotionally calm or stable. Go and take a big inhale through the nose. Sigh out the mouth. Allow your eyes to open as you press your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you for taking time for yourself today to make sure you're giving yourself some self-care. And thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate it. Drink lots of water, eat your veggies, and wear some sunblock. We'll see you next time. Namaste.